afternoon, everyone. I'm Shikha Seth, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here at the Rising 2025 with you all. I'll be moderating this session, this important conversation on what it takes to not just survive, but truly thrive in competitive markets. Now, we're in a world where industries are evolving very, very rapidly, and success isn't just about talent. It's about strategy, it's about resilience, and of course, the ability to challenge norms. And today we're going to discuss exactly that. Before we dive in, a little about me. I work as a brand head at Reliance Retail. I've been in apparel retail for about 20 years, launching brands, driving growth, and led teams, of course, in this time. I have seen firsthand what it takes to truly stand out in crowded markets. And as women, I feel we often face very unique challenges on this journey. Today, we have an incredible opportunity to learn from a panel of exceptional women leaders who've navigated competitive landscapes, built legacies, impactful legacies, and really redefined what it means to lead in crowded markets. In their careers, these women have built influence, they've taken bold risks, and made a lasting impact. Now, this will be an interactive session, so please think about your questions as we go along. We'll have a short Q&A at the end, and let's meet our incredible panelists. So first up, we have Anjali Datta. Welcome, Anjali. Your work is all about innovation and staying ahead of trends. In one word, if I ask you, if you could describe the key to standing out in a crowded industry, what would it be?
Thank you so much. That's a very interesting question, but I'm so sorry. It's very difficult to describe things in one word when that question always comes, right? Because we have so much to say. But I will say one word which will have a lot of deeper meanings attached, right? So I think it's all about being authentic, right? So what does that mean by when we say being authentic? Authentic means you are actually updated, right? See, there is no way we can unlearn anything. There is always a concept of upgrading yourself, right? You have learned something what you have learned, but the point is, am I able to upgrade myself and then be relevant, right? The world is going to be championing or respecting individuals who are authentic because they have knowledge, they are relevant, right? And they are simple. The most expensive thing today, you know what it is? It's simplicity, right? Because we live in an over-complex world, right? The simple we speak, the better we are. At the end, we are also talking about being human and being humble. Imagine an individual with a lot of knowledge, right? And the person who is authentic end up being humble individual as well. So again, going back to what my friend asked me to answer, it's all about being authentic.
All right, great. That's a brilliant word. I'll move on to Jidnya. Jidnya is Head of Data Science at Wayfair India TDC. Welcome, Jidnya. Jidnya, data science is a rapidly evolving field. In one word again, if you could describe one mind shift that has helped you to stay ahead, what would that be?
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Very excited to be here. And thank you, Shikha, for having me. So it's not going to be one word. So the transformation of my mindset from tech first to business first or problem first really helped me. So as techies and as engineers, we are very excited about the cool technology that's in market, but solving, understanding deeper understanding of business problems and solving problems where we meet the customer needs is most important. So that mindset shift.
So problem-solving really mindset.
Business understanding mindset.
Lovely.
Beyond just the tech that you're using, that helped me transform.
I think that is spot on. Welcome. So I'm going to move to Amruta now. Amruta Chaudhary, co-founder.
You're pronouncing my name right. I really love that. Thank you, Shikha.
Amruta Chaudhary, co-founder of Breath Beings. Welcome, Amruta. Amruta, you work with high-performing leaders. What's one mistake people make when managing high-pressure careers? And no more one words for you. You can elaborate.
Oh, wow.
I would say she's the fortunate one, right?
She knows I'll have a comeback probably. So, okay, so I think this high pressure thing, I think comes with the fact or with the understanding that, we as women at times think that there's only one me. But there are so many me's within us, right? As in, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a learner, I'm a student, I'm probably also a coach, I'm a painter, I'm a cyclist, I'm so many beings in one being, right? So the high pressure comes when I think we only anchor on to one identity and believe that that is what defines me and look at getting everything out of that one identity. So yeah, I hope I answered that we need to look at us.
That is an important
beyond.
point to keep in mind. Thank you. Thank you. So let's meet Rupashri, Head of Learning and Development at Broadridge. Welcome, Rupashri. If you had to pick one leadership trait that helps women thrive in competitive markets, what would it be?
Yeah, first of all, thank you. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Shika. That's a great question. Before I answer the question, I got goosebumps when you said what you said. So, Amrita. So, very well said. So, for me, leadership trait applies to everybody, more so to women, is having high self-awareness. Because in my career of 25 years, consciously, I think otherwise I was always a highly self-aware person, but consciously I've started this journey for last 15 years. And trust me, looking into the mirror and acknowledging strengths and weaknesses is not an easy, but a very fruitful journey it has been. So what I do till today is, can I be 1% better today than yesterday is the lookout.
Lovely, lovely. Let's meet Reena Gupta, VP Consulting Services at Publicis Epsilon. Welcome, Reena. Reena, in one word to you, one critical mistake companies make when driving digital transformation.
So if I have to say in one word, it is the strategy which is lacking. And again, if you see the statistics that are reported, 70% of digital transformation initiatives fail. They are not up to the mark, right? And in my 25 years of experience, I have seen that it's largely because there is a lack of well-defined and a clear strategy, right? Now, what does strategy really mean when you're driving digital transformation? So upfront, before you even start the transformation initiative, you need to have a very clear plan on what you're trying to achieve, what are the priorities, right? Typically, in large organizations with different business functions, everybody will have their own goals, priorities, and if you do not bring the teams together and align on the top three, you're not able to going to make it through the transformation journey. So it's very important to align on the goals and define your priorities. Then what you need is a roadmap. Because again, it's a complex initiative, it's a long-term initiative. Digital transformation initiatives takes 2 to 3 years. So you need to have a phased rollout approach. So that also becomes extremely important. The other critical factor of which comes under strategy would be the change management. With digital transformation, you will see employees will be a little skeptical. Hey, am I going to lose my job? What's happening? So making sure that there is education, awareness, that what it means to them, how it can actually make their day-to-day life easier is extremely critical, right? And upskilling them so that then they can use the technology that you are bringing in. The companies invest so much to drive digital transformation, but if you're not leveraging it to the right extent, all that goes waste. So upskilling your people so that they can leverage it to the right way. And I think lastly, to Judnya's point, just bridging the gap between business needs, understanding that business, and how technology can enable it, right, is extremely important. And so strategy at the upfront is what really drives. And if that is not there, there is a high chance that the initiative would fail.
I think many companies fall for that trap. It
yes.
is simple, but many companies fall for that trap.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So, Anjali, I would like to start the discussion with you. In competitive industries, just being good isn't enough. You need to really stand out. So how do women leaders cut through the noise and build a distinct brand, product, leadership style that truly makes an impact?
That's a very beautiful question. In fact, all the questions that you've asked is actually triggering me to speak, right? Let's talk about this word called brand, right? And I'm keeping the gender apart, by the way, for 2 minutes.
Yes.
It's just about, brand is nothing but a perception, right? There's a perception formed about you, who you are as an individual. It can be for any product or any services. It can be for an individual at the end of the day. For you to stand out, it is very, very important that you make yourself visible, right? And what I'm saying and why I'm saying this, because I'll tell you, when I was in my school, just giving a personal example, right? I used to be a tall kid, so I used to sit at the back, right? Because you're a tall kid, you will always have to sit at the back. And when you are in a queue, you're again at the back. So I organically got this habit that, the only thing Anjali has to do is to sit at the back, right? Now that's one. Point second is that once I was playing with my friends and there was a race. My name is Anjali and it's A. A is the first letter, correct? I wasn't able to come first and I came maybe third, right? And there was a guy there and he said, "Hey Anjali, your name is A, but you are not coming first." I still remember that. You know what it is? That it is up to you to claim your position, come and sit in this, right in the front. Make people understand that you are there and you are visible to people. Make yourself heard. Speak your mind, speak your experiences, speak your thoughts. Then you as an individual will have a mark. And then you will become a brand. And brand is perception. Again, I'm repeating, right? It can be positive or a negative perception. It is up to you. How do you shape and form it, right? Now, going very specific, right? I have also, I don't know whether I have become a brand or not, I don't know, but I am an individual who is adding value, maybe little bit value somewhere or the other, right? I have to really do a lot. And there were times when I was setting something that world did not knew. I ended up setting up a studio with an IT organization. So what those studios are, maybe I'll just take a minute to explain that. They are a horizontal structure within a bigger IT organization. They have creative people, they have technology guys, all in one, working as one family and delivering value to the end customer. I am talking about year 2005 and 6, where this studio word was an alien word for alien word for a lot of people. And people said, okay, hey, what are you talking about? This is not going to work. We don't understand. And people were joking about it. But today, a lot of organizations, right, have this studio structure, right, which they celebrate, they monetize on it, right? So you have to believe in yourself. People will, when people are joking about it, means you're talking something very authentic and very logical, right? And the world will see value as you proceed.
So standing up, you mean to say that standing up also comes with challenges, pushbacks, and a lot of resistance. So can you share a time when you really had to fight for your vision and how you navigated that?
Precisely, the one that I'm quoting, right? When I set up the studio structure way back 2006 and 7 that I talked about, right? People joked about it. They thought, okay, what are you saying, Anjali? And I used to use words like art director. It was like, what do you direct, right? You direct, you make films? I said, no. And then I changed it to call, to producers. And I said, what do you produce? Right? There was a lot of jokes around it, right? Lot of apprehensions, lot of doubts, lot of worries. But you have to stick to what you think is right. And then keep talking about it. See, I can become a complete opponent party and say, hey, okay, whatever you people are saying is absolutely wrong, right? No, but these people are your buyers. You have to convince them, make them see what you are seeing right now. Because you have a plan, you have a vision, you can actually, you have a roadmap. Communicate that roadmap, that plan, that structure to the person who doesn't know it. They will oppose for few years, few months, but when they start realizing that this is giving returns, they will become your advocates, right? So that's a long form, short answer.
Yes. Jitnya, I would come to you. Women often have to prove their expertise more than the male counterparts. Have you felt this in data science field in this space, and how did you navigate it?
Shika, reason you're asking this question, I'm guessing this exists. But personally,
Yes.
I don't think I felt this because I was a woman. But little bit of context there. I've switched domains a lot. So I had 10 years of experience in biometrics, fingerprint, face, and iris recognition. Then I moved to LinkedIn, where I did content moderation using machine learning. And now I'm at Wayfair, where there is e-commerce space, which is completely new to me. So every time I switch domains, what happened is I had to build my credibility and trust, right? And those were the difficult moments for me, not as a woman, but as a person who has fundamentals in machine learning and data science. But how do you bring in your perspectives? How do you make sure that, okay, I'm proposing something? There were moments where I had to really overemphasize, overwrite documents, put my ideas in place and build that trust, right? So those are the places where I felt, okay, I probably overdid it, but not as a woman, but mainly I had to prove myself, hey, these ideas will work. Just to give you an example, probably machine learning engineers would relate to this. We had traditional machine learning models, Elasticsearch, semantic embeddings. How do you adapt to Gen AI? And that's where I brought in some perspectives on search domain when I joined Wayfair, which is an e-commerce company and who builds, it's a marketplace for home furnishings. So that's where I felt like, okay, switching domains, I had to prove myself, build that credibility. But then work speaks for yourself. Because as soon as I started delivering, I had allies who spoke for my work, and work traveled. I didn't have to prove myself that much, and I built confidence over there.
So what's one piece of advice you would give to women?
Okay, so what I would suggest is don't stop yourself from failing, right? I mean, have those allies, have those mentors, whom you can validate your new ideas from, and get their mentorship, have those allies, and support each other, right? We need that support as women as well, because I think I was discussing this with Reena, and she brought up a good point. Because there are very few women in leadership, when we fail, that is very visible, right? And how do we make sure that doesn't happen? And that resonated with me really well. So that's how I think using your mentorship and allies network and ensuring that we support each other and not afraid of failing, that's most important thing.
So have your own ecosystem,
Yes.
have your own anchors,
Yes.
is what I take from that.
Yep.
Okay, moving to Amrita. Amrita, entrepreneurship is full of risks. Do you think women are given the same room to fail as men? And how can we reframe failure as a stepping stone?
I actually want to ask all of you, do you know Claudia Golden?
Anybody in the audience?
Does
I
anybody
can see
know
one
who
nod.
Claudia Golden
Yeah.
is?
One nod.
Somebody said yes?
Yeah. Raise your hand. Yeah.
Do you want to tell us who she is? Sorry? Yeah, Komal. She's a? No, I'm asking who's Claudia Golden? She's the Nobel Award winner for economics. Do you remember a woman won? Do you remember the posts which went viral about a woman winning a Nobel Prize in economics? That's Claudia. Okay? Now, why I asked you this question is because I knew that most of us won't remember Claudia. But if I ask all of you in the last 5 years, do you remember the men who won Nobel Prizes? Many of us would remember that. Okay? And at least one or two names for sure, right? So Claudia made a very interesting observation through her research at Harvard. And she spoke about the fact that 1/3 of the economics batch, undergraduate batch, is comprised of women. However, only 14% of them make it to the PhD in economics. So what happens in between? So now there are obvious reasons like probably women didn't get mentored, the biological clock, as we always hear. But there was another very interesting observation which I draw a lot of inspiration from, which is most of these undergraduate women, when they flunked in the first exam of economics, gave up on economics. And there were many men who also flunked. But even if somebody would have hit them with a bat, they would have still gone for economics. So the point which I'm trying to make is that the there is also a stereotype, which is probably given by the society, and we internalize it, that we are trying to make a mark in the man's world.
Right.
And if I don't get it right in the first go, like you just mentioned, I'm going to, oh my God, like they're just going to like watch me and stalk me and they're going to pull me down. But I think what we really need as women right now is to take acknowledgement and know that. And I think I've done that through my entrepreneurship journey, is I set myself up for a failure of 5 years. I'm very, very, humbly reporting that I'm doing pretty well. But I put that out for myself, that 5 years, it's okay, even if I fail miserably. But I'm going to keep trying. And I really like the acronym. Sorry for the long answer. But I want to leave this acronym with all the women over here, which is FAIL, First Attempt in Learning. How can you anchor onto that and keep repeating those mistakes so you learn more?
I was about to say that there are no failures, there are only learnings.
Yeah,
Learnings should come in,
Yeah, if you permit, I just have one small thing to add, right?
Please,
I think
please, Anjali.
I just love what you just spoke, right? I've been saying, right, there is absolutely no failure. I don't think there is any failure that exists, right? Because just imagine for a minute, right? If anything goes wrong, it has actually taught you something. So you have not lost anything, right?
Yeah.
It's just an attempt did not got the returns that you wanted, but it actually gave you something very different, which you will not realize at that point in time because you are too much emotional, too much drained out. But you will remember after 10 years, 15 years, or maybe 5 years and so forth, right? That you got something out of it and you laugh at it, right? To be very honest and very precise. One more thing I'll just say. How many of us really we all go to bathrooms, right? And we have a mirror. How many of us really see ourselves eye on eye? Yeah, please raise your hands if you do. Eye on eye,
Lots of hands.
Oh my God, I'm liking it. Just please do. You are not actually checking how many eyebrows that I have to get rid of, right? You are able to just see yourself eye on eye and then really say, hey, you are gorgeous. Good, beautiful. You have done great job. That's what we all need to do. We have to pamper ourselves a bit. Say thank you, right? To your own self first. Well,
hold on to that thought. I'm going to come back to it. Hold on to that thought.
It's just we get so emotional speaking.
Yes. Hold on to that thought. Yes, I'm going to move to Rupashri. Rupashri, we often hear that networking is key, but is that enough? And how can women go beyond just connections and build real influence? Would like to hear your thoughts.
That's a great question. So I am a firm believer of having a network, right? Like being a people person ever since I remember from my childhood. So, and yes, I mean, also living in the world of likes, be it LinkedIn, Facebook, all sorts of things. But that's not enough to her point. How can we truly make a difference or a real influence lies in how do we show up. And it goes back to what I earlier spoke, how self-aware are you? How are you showing up? Are you showing up positive, negative, effective, ineffective, helpful, hindering the process or the progress you are trying to make? So is what comes to me. And 3 aspects I have realized, and I've read or heard some study also, especially women, lack is clarity. Clarity, confidence, and risk-taking ability. And I have all these 3 witnessed in 2 settings, 2 different companies. We had leadership programs, technical leadership and people leadership. And in first few cycles, what we saw is women didn't raise their hand because it was a self-nomination. We didn't get any nominations. All male colleagues raised their hand for those leadership programs. Then we had to do another program. Interestingly, the name was RISE, the Rising. We are talking here today. And after the RISE graduates started applying for the leadership roles. So what we did in RISE was exactly help women own their careers, help themselves. So that's what we did. To show up with a lot of clarity. We all have thoughts and ideas, but how clearly are you articulating? Second is confidence. Like I'm just repeating what I started. In confidence, where it matters, you need to share the ideas. And the last is risk-taking ability we've been talking about. No failure, if you fall or fail, it is a learning. So how you take those learnings and then lead to success becomes key. And all these three things, even individually or in combination, we have to do consistently to influence our 360 degree is what I have learned. And I've been practicing and holding space for others to practice.
Very, very rightly said. Reena, would you like to add something to this?
I think interesting conversation, and I think everybody is echoing the same sentiments, right? And we spoke about failure being learning. So, failure is really about just getting knowledge. To me, it's like, you're just gaining a knowledge about what you shouldn't do, right? It actually helps you bring you closer to your goal is what I feel. And I think that's a huge perspective change, but I think it helps because then you won't feel so much upset when you fail, right? Because you know it's knowledge and you're taking it on and then moving forward. Meaning if I have to share, an anecdote from my journey, there was a time when we were trying to launch our product in the Australian region. Typically, Australians are known for, being pretty open. They are very direct. They don't mince words. So we are working with our Australian colleagues and figuring out how to go to market with them. And, great plan. They said yes, all agreed, all aligned. And we were working with our sister agency there. And we said, okay, great, this is going great. We waited a couple of weeks, no action taken. We went back to them. And they said, no, we are working. We'll kind of get some of the conversations going. We lost almost 8 to 10 weeks waiting for things to happen, right? And again, just the stereotype that I had in mind that, what they say, it's on face value, right? And then you realize that this is not going anywhere. So we actually had to shut down the program saying, okay, Australia not working, let's focus on another geography. Now again, there will always be certain different ways of working in cultural, but again, just stereotyping is something what I learned is you shouldn't take it to the T, meaning, take it with a pinch of salt because again, it may not be completely true. So again, that knowledge has really helped me. So when I today, in my leadership role, meet new people, I'm driving new initiatives, I'm keeping that in the back of the mind that, you don't necessarily, you have to be alert, you have to know how things work, and again, so again, that was again a big learning for me as well, and that helped me during my journey. So.
Thank you for sharing. We all know pressure to innovate and outperform is relentless. So I would like to hear from each one of you, how do you sustain momentum without burning out? Amrita, I'll start with you.
The pressure to
outperform.
Outperform.
Yes.
Okay. So my first question would be, I think, to whoever is trying to answer this, would be, who are you trying to outperform? Okay, and I remember when we were discussing about this panel, I feel a little uncomfortable with the word compete. Competitive markets, and like it just feels like there's so much less
space. It's just competing with self, I think, not with.
But there's so much more, no? There's so much more space. See, I feel that, and I'll tell you this, and I know that there are many people who've worked with me in the past in the audience also, so I can't lie. Okay, I was very competitive. Okay, when I, in my initial career days, I was extremely competitive. But what that made me realize is my view then was only limited to those couple of people whom I was competing with, or the kind of path I had laid down for myself was very limited. But how about, you're not competing with anybody. There is this idea that there is something for everybody. And then, you operate out of that space, and then that allows you to look at for innovating, probably, at least that's helped me, is you realize that who is this space for? And who are you designing for? And what are these personas like? And what solutions are they looking for? And what is not probably available for them at the moment? And I feel like that's been my mantra that's worked beautifully for us, where we blend arts and psychology. That's a combination which is absolutely absent in our space. So yeah. So I think that's been my...
Lovely. Moving to Anjali. Anjali, quickly share your mantra.
Sure. I will not repeat what my friend has said because this is 100% I'm aligned with, right? You just spoke what was in my head. But I'll just say one small thing. I think get yourself uncomfortable. World will any which ways make us uncomfortable, but we should make ourselves uncomfortable first. Do something that nobody else has done or we have not personally experimented. As long as you keep doing that, you'll be fine.
All
right.
But things will be difficult, but just be brave.
Yes, yes. Moving to Rupashri, yes.
Yeah, I could so relate to what Amrita said, right? So there is also a book by Sean Aker, Happiness Advantage, where he says you don't need to fight for a pizza. If it's a pizza slice, make the pizza bigger, right? So that's what was coming to my mind. So hence, again, going back to the competitives, it's who are you competing with? I mean, just look at a broader view of what else can you bring and show up as, right? Second, for me, I have not experienced burnout because I feel ever since I have chosen and said no and quit at the right time when I wanted to. Started as a computer science engineering, never felt like I could sit and code in ones and zeros, quit that in less than 10 months. Went to tech support, enjoyed my role, and then moved to HR, and there is no looking back from there. So, to again Anjali's point, I have always pushed the boundaries. I mean, if I find myself every third year in the same role, then I have a problem. I'm uncomfortable. I want to, third year onwards, I want to find where else and where I don't know anything, I want to get in there. So if you do that, I feel I've never, people say around me that every single meeting you show up, you have a same energy. And you look also how you looked in the morning meeting. So what's the secret? Secret is that, right? I love what I have gotten myself into at this moment. So there you go.
Jignya, would you like to share?
Okay. Very quickly, I'm giving perspective from my world, which is e-commerce and data science. So I accept that there is a burnout. Very simple. Look at the number of papers that have been published in last 1 year, ChatGPT, Gemini, how do we adopt, what do we work on? There is chaos, right? So mantra for me for not getting burnout and making sure my team is not burnt out is like how, again, I'll go back to the key business problems we are solving, not go after every shiny thing that is coming out. If Gemini 1.2 is working good for you, like, what are the problems you're solving? Like, which research paper should I be focusing on? So not getting lost in that chaos, having sustained focus, that leads to innovation. Otherwise, we are just like, running after what is looking shiny, right?
Let's get to audience. Any question audience have? Anybody has any questions? Yes, yes, please.
Hi, I'm Shraddha. I'm from ANZ. I want to understand, like, I've been in the industry, in data science industry from past 8 years, and I want to do things. There are a lot of ideas, there are a lot of things in my mind, but somehow I don't have that much motivation that I go ahead. I try, I don't fail. I try, but how to keep myself going and how to prove our senior leadership that what I'm trying to say is making sense, or it will make sense if you give me a chance.
Shraddha, who is your question? Who are you asking the question to?
I think I'm mostly relating to.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, please.
I have been there, I must accept. And as I told you, right, every time I've switched domains, I have joined Wayfair a year back, okay? So with no e-commerce background. But the way I would look at it is like, again, going back to what customer needs you're solving. There are tons of data science techniques, right? And what are you going after? See, leadership, it's all about business at the end of it, right? Whichever space you are in. And if, like, what are the true north metrics you are going after? That's most important. And get the feedback also actively. Like when I emphasize more on documentation as well, a quick POC, quick EDA with your data that you have. Don't super engage on technique that you're using, but go after the key north metrics you're going, like, what you want solving. If that, and writing is a skill. Go, like, it's very important. Coding is one thing, but at the same time, now you have co-pilots, right? The job is done for you. How do you articulate that problem? How do you show the longer picture and take mentorship here? It's not easy. Even today, I struggle, right? I mean, you can have co-reviewers. You can make sure your draft is good, like, it's in a good space, but keep trying. I can tell you that I've proposed like 15 ideas when I joined and 2 of them are productionized, right? So it's just keep at it. And I'm glad you're doing it. That's the first step.
Right. Thank you so much.
And do prioritize, because what I would, so just adding one more point, I can sense 2 things in your question. You have so much information and you want to do so much, but you're not able to figure out what to do first, right? So don't give, just don't overwhelm yourself, right? Just pen down what you want to do day 1, day 2, day 3, and then follow it. And that's it. The rest, my friend has guided you very well. Follow this, and then things will be fine.
Shraddha, I hope that answers your question. I think we've really crossed the time. But thank you all thank you panelists for your experiences, sharing your stories. And thank you audience. Thank you very much.